ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. A 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radi. Your host, Mark Angelo Cummings.
And hello, and welcome to Transition Radio. My name is Mark Angelo, and I am so pleased to be with you this evening. As I wrote here, welcome my tribe, my family, my relations. Thank you for sharing your time and blessing me with your presence. I love you all, and I truly do appreciate every single one of you. Your time I know is valuable, and you choose to spend it with me, and I am forever grateful. So, let's have some fun here this evening. Let's grow. Let's evolve. Let's love one another. Let's change this crazy world that we're living in and bring heaven here on earth. I wanted to share a little verse of the Bible. Hey, Stephanie Allen, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Yes, you like the new opening? That's actually an opening I used to use when I first started Transition Radio back in 2012, kind of changed it a little bit. Hey, Tracy, thank you for joining me or joining us, because this is about us. This is about the tribe, our family. Gigi for Truth. Welcome, welcome. And I wanted to share in this verse, I kind of like, as I do everything, I kind of change things around a little bit as it rings true with my heart. The verse is from Hebrew 11:6, the King James Version. But this is what I actually took out of that verse. And let me go ahead and share that with you. Here we go. Let's get rid of this. Let me share this screen so y'all could get it with me here. Okay. Without faith, it is impossible to please mother, father. Those two in one, that androgynous creatus that we are all part of. Those that draw near them and know they exist will be rewarded. Rewards will follow. And that's not exactly what that says in the Bible, because it's very misogynistic, very male-oriented, so I read a verse and I like to make it my own and how it speaks to me. And I'm sure all of you do the same thing, because our creator speaks to us differently. It's like every person has a different way of learning. Hey, True Luck, thank you for joining us. And, we some of us are auditory learners, some of us are tactile learners, some of us are visual learners. And so when we read something, I'm sure that every single one of us takes something different from what we read, what we see. You look at a piece of art. I'm sure you gather a bunch of people in the room to watch one piece of art, and we all get something different from that piece of art. But in the end, we all will end up on the same path to return back to Mother, Father, where we belong. Because this is not our home. This is not where we belong. We've landed here. Hey, Martin, thank you for joining us. And Scott Satella. And Damien. Oh, Damien, my hugging friend. Can't wait to give you that hug in person after July, heading on my little blue Prius, Gypsy Blue Nomad, and going to go out there and give no more virtual hugs, but real hugs, right? Those are the ones that really touch the soul. You know, I'm a hugger, and sometimes I don't know my own strength, so I just kind of like, you know, and that's just, it's almost like you mesh into one and you share each other's love and energy, and then that's what it's all about. It's all about love. Love is the elixir of life. That's my new saying. I created that yesterday, I think it was, when I started changing my emails response. Love is the elixir of life. And that is so true. Everything was great, Martin. Thank you. Thank you. How about yours? And Martin says hello to you, Lena, if you're watching. And she says, hi, Martin. But yeah, you know, love is so important. Real hugs. Yes, Tracy, right? Start that caravan and we could like travel across America. Free hugs, free love, bringing everyone up to the higher vibrations. We've been down those low vibrations for way, way too long. So it's time. It's totally time to get close and personal and do the real work, create a mission where we're going to be the hands of God, showing people what God is all about. You know, it's not about all these laws and the way the Bible tries to twist it and how religion tries to twist it. Our Creator creates us is about love. It's about helping one another. It's about doing for your community. And I want, gosh, the ideas and where my heart is. And I wanted to just like grow, you know, and create caravans and create people so they would know us by what? Our fruits. Not about what we're saying, not about what we're wearing, not about what we look like, but from our fruits. They will know us by our fruits, by what we do for one another. Hey, Danny and James, hello, 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 everyone. So grateful to have you all here sharing this evening together. The other day, Martin prompted me to really look into this whole ghost thing, and he shared a few pictures, and I'm going to go ahead and share some pictures for those who missed it. Let me see here. Let me do this, share this. And here we go. This is really, really interesting. And let me make it bigger so you guys could. Do you guys see that right there? What does that look like to you? A face. Face. And this is some sort of mental institution that Martin's part of, some sort of documentary or videotaping, something of that sort. And he took this picture, and there's another one. Let me get rid of that one here. Let me find this other one. This one's even more scary. See that there? You know, it reminds me of, what's that Rocky Horror Picture Show? The guy used to do the role, I'm just a sweet transvestite. I don't know why that reminds me of that, but nonetheless, that's what it reminds me of. And Gigi for two said, I love you, a bushel and peck, and a hug around the neck. Yes! Awesome. I can't wait. And Amparejo, todas las bendiciones para ti, para tu nueva misión. Muchas gracias, Amparejo. And to translate that is all the blessings to your new mission. Thank you, Amparejo. I totally, totally appreciate your blessings and your love and your presence. Like I said before, I honor every single one of you. And I am so grateful to have you here with me to share with all of us this beautiful evening that we have planned. And Martin said, thought I'd see a shaven Mark today with the Facebook status I saw. No, it's winter time. I will eventually probably shave it off. But right now it's winter and I'm seeing how long I could actually grow it, and eventually probably. And then whatever is going to be easier, because I'm going to be living off my car on the road, you know, so it's going to be showers at truck stops and showers at campgrounds. And, you know, if anyone wants me to stop by and allows me to use their shower and park my car in the driveway and sleep there, as long as I can use the bathroom and shower, it's good to go. You know, I'll be awesome. So whatever's going to be easier. So I don't know. Save face though, surely. I kind of think I look probably a bit younger when I shave, or I've had in the past, kind of have this really baby girlish type face when I shave completely. But, you know, Creepy picture. Oh my God. Wasn't that creepy, Danny? And then let me see. There's a couple more pictures here. Let me see if I could share these right here. This is, again, it's a mental institution. And they're refurbishing. According to Martin, there's been a lot of accidents in that refurbishing. People just, I guess, have freak accidents and falls. And you know, I would say that I believe in ghosts. I believe in spirits. I believe that it's energy, stagnant energy. You know, people dying in a very traumatic way, people not wanting to leave the dimension and being stuck here. I used to watch a show called The Ghost Whisperer. And people that can't get to the other side because they still have unresolved issues. Some people are violent in real life. And when they die, they continue that violent energy. And that's why you've got these poltergeists that are really bizarre and wild. And you know, I meant the ghost face. Same face, though, Shirley. Yes, same face. I thought you meant my face, but because you said the old picture wasn't taking me. It was the old picture wasn't taken by me. It was in 1973. Oh, okay. So the first one that I showed was in 1973, and then the newer one was the one taken by you. So that spirit hasn't moved from there. It's taken residence and likes to hang around that mental institution and torment the workers. I tell you. And Gigi Fortuta, she surely looks sad. Doesn't she? The person in that, I don't know if it's a she. I'm not quite sure. You can't really make it out. Like I said, it reminds me of Rocky Horror Picture Show. I forget the name of the actor who played that role, but that's kind of what they remind me of. But anyway, let's take a look at what we got today here. Let me share so y'all could read along. Types of ghosts and spirits. I've always been able to see spirits from the time I was a little kid. A lot of shadow people, a lot of, when I look at the lights and I'm looking up because I got lights up there, I would always hear this kind of like whisper, mixture of different voices whispering as a kid. And I wasn't fearful, but I was always like, why do I always hear this around lights? So I'm wondering, I guess spirits kind of hang around lights or something. But I remember very instinctively as a child, if I would sleep over my godmother's house and she would leave some lights on, I would hear these noises. Anytime there was lights, I would hear that. And Amparejo says, I used to work at an old hotel that was turned into a hospital during World War II, and I experienced a lot of paranormal things. Yes, I also used to work in a place here in Silver City called Fort Bayard, and they had certain soldiers, and some of them must have died during the war. You know, they were sick. It was like an infirmary for soldiers, and it became like a mental institution / rehab. But there was a lot of weird activity going on in that place. Sometimes you would see wheelchairs moving on their own. Sometimes you would feel the essence of spirit because you kind of feel it, you know. Emily called this morning and shared that she had this vision or dream with these, I guess, reptilian or demon type things. She says she could smell them. Literally, even in the dream state, she could smell them. So they all have some sort of aura, smell, feel to them. And Who's Martin says, yeah, local townspeople never speak of the place. And those who visit who aren't local sometimes ask, who's the woman upstairs? And Amparejo says, the actor is Timmy Curry. Yes, Tim Curry. That's right. He kind of, the face, you know, how he had his face all really make it up. It looked like really white makeup, an excessive amount of lipstick and stuff like that. Good evening, Gail Single. Thank you for joining us. Gail says, just like people today, ghosts need assurance of their goodness and acceptance, especially being downtrodden from their experience. It must be very, very perturbed when you're stuck in this in-between stage and you don't know, you're lost. So that's why there are people, I guess, that dedicate themselves to helping spirits pass to the other side, giving them, sometimes family members don't want to let go. They hold on, and that really harms the spirit because they can't go. So one of the things I feel that is so important that we need to learn to say goodbye to the loved ones that have gone, you know, give them permission to free themselves to go to the other side. And who's Martin said, nobody goes at night. It's beautiful. But even in the daytime, it's terrifying and negative energy. I'm sure I could sense it just by the pictures alone. And Gigi for Truth says, why wouldn't energy remain instead of full transition? Why wouldn't energy remain? Well, I'm assuming that there are different types of energy and ghosts. Some are partial, so I guess some do end up going, and the other is just like the remnants. It's almost like a remnants of energy, which I've read before in the past. And I think a lot of the full transition doesn't really take place because they're holding on to something. Something violent happened during their death, when the time of dying, or they're still haven't resolved certain issues when they were alive and they died unexpectedly. And I find that that's got to be so traumatic when you die unexpectedly, when you're still young, when you haven't resolved, when you haven't worked through the things that you need to work through. So you kind of still feel bound to the contract that you created when you came here. So who's Martin says, the woman is rumored to be Clara Skojensky, who moved from Romania to run the asylum, and she did pass away in the building. Oh, wow. And Stephanie Allen says, where is this located? Who's Martin? He's in England, so if he's where, I'm pretty sure. But go ahead and answer that for Stephanie for me, Martin, if you would, please. So let me start reading. There are different types of ghosts. There are 5 that they talk about here. The interactive personality, the most common of all ghosts spotted, is usually of a deceased person, someone you know, a family member, or perhaps even a historical figure. These ghosts can be friendly or not, but often show themselves to others in a variety of ways. They can become visible, they can't speak or make noises, touch you, or even emit an odor, as I spoke earlier about Emily, like perfume or cigar smoke, etc., to let you know that they are there. You know, sometimes I wonder when people get migraines and they sense certain things, if the migraines are brought upon an essence that is lingering. Experts say that this type of ghost retains its former personality of when they were alive and can feel emotions. And often they're visiting you to comfort you or let you know something important. So if you happen to see a lost loved one, chances are they are there because they feel you want or need to see them. Some people become very attached to you, and that attachment will always have, it's almost like that umbilical hasn't been cut and they have not been allowed to cross over. So I think it's very important, you know, that people make amends with their loved ones. That I know that's hard to let go of someone you love, but that's part of growing and evolving as a spiritual being, learning not to have attachments, because attachments really do harm us in the long run. It's okay to feel, and it's wonderful to love, but love with freedom, love to allow those you love to go free, not to want to just hold on forever. That's a 5 senses meat suit type of conditioning that we have, and we need to very much learn how to break free. There are people that grieve and they don't know how to let go of that grief. I mean, I've known people whose sons have been dead for like 12 plus years and they're still grieving. And that's not healthy for anyone. It's not healthy for the person that's still alive. And that's not healthy for the person who's passed away, because they are not able to cross over when you hold on to somebody like that. So the number 2 is the ectoplasm or ectomist. Ever seen a mist or fog that almost looks like it's swirling? If so, you may be witnessing what paranormal investigators deem as an ectomist or ghostly mist. The vaporous cloud usually appears several feet off the ground and can move swiftly or simply stay still, almost like it's orbiting. These ghostly encounters have been captured on many videos and in photographs, and can be white, gray, or even black. Although they can simply appear this way, linger, then move away quickly, sometimes ectoplasms appear before becoming a full body apparition. Many people have witnessed them outdoors, in graveyards, battlefields, and historical sites. And I could see that, you know, in graveyards and historical sites when there's a lot of death and a lot of trauma. I think trauma kind of like binds that spirit, binds that source to the area, you know, and yeah, it's like we need to set them free. So let's see here. I'm 6'1" and I have stood in that window. Actually, she would be 6'6" or more in spirit. That's terrifying. Totally terrifying. But you know what? I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid at all of spirits. Like I said, I've been seeing them since I was a little kid. I've experienced good spirits and bad spirits. And I always have this very stern way of like getting them to leave. Because you have to be stern, you have to believe, you have to be present in your power. You have to be sovereign. You have to admit your authority that they are not allowed to be in your presence. They must go. You don't want them there. You don't want any part of them. Now, if it's a good spirit and it's a spirit that's lost and maybe you could help cross over, and then that's different. You want to show compassion. But you've got to be able to understand what intentions these spirits have. And Stephanie says, where is this located, Martin? I think I already asked that. Martin says, hi, Stephanie. I'm in North Wales. We aren't allowed to name the location that is frowned upon. I haven't even told Mark the name of this building. That's why I said Martin, because I know that you didn't say anything, and I wouldn't cross the trust if you actually did and told me not to tell anyone. That's why. But you didn't tell me. So Amparejo says, true. Gigi for Truth says, maybe she was floating. Maybe, but according to Martin, she's appears 6'6", but it could be. Maybe, remember, who was it? We had, she said, on the show, and she had mentioned that when she died and stepped out of her body, she felt very big. It's like enormously big. I think that when we get into this body, we have all this energy that it's probably massive, and it's all kind of like tucked in nice and neat in these bodies. But when we're out of it, it's like humongous. Hey, Rex, thank you for joining us. Thank you. And Stephanie Allen says, thank you, Martin. Fascinating. And Martin said, no idea, Gigi. All we know is that she was always seen in a long, dark blue dress and had gray hair. Interesting. And Stephanie says, now that's okay. Like Mark, I've seen the other side since young age. Yeah, it's like I said, I'm not fearful. And I could understand how some people may be, because we fear what we don't know. But, I've always noticed that if you, it's like a dog. If the dog senses fear, it's going to bite you. The spirit senses fear, it's going to bully you. So you've got to place your authority and your sovereignty and realize that there is nothing that can enter you, nothing that can harm you if you don't allow it. So number 3 is the poltergeist. Perhaps one of the most popular terms most of us have heard when it comes to ghosts. It was a famous movie, and it had several sequels. Poltergeist, a little girl on the TV that was like, The word poltergeist actually means noisy ghost, because it is said to have the ability to move or knock things over, make noise, and manipulate the physical environment. How many of you watched the movie Ghosts? There was that one guy in the underground there that was very angry. He wanted to smoke. He was just angry. And he learned how to move things. And Patrick Swayze was trying so hard, and the ghost was trying to teach Patrick Swayze how to move things. But it's like that anger. When you have that anger, it's what allows you to move things. Let's see here. While many of us had heard the term before, poltergeist is actually one of the rarest forms of hauntings, and to many, the most terrifying. Because they can be, especially if you watch the movie. Lewd knocking sounds, light turning on and off, door slamming, even fires breaking out mysteriously have all been attributed to this type of spiritual disturbance. Energy, really angry energy that's all over the place. Another frightening aspect of the poltergeist is that event usually start out slowly and mildly, then begins to intensify. And while many times poltergeist activity is harmless and ends quickly, they have been known to actually become dangerous. Some experts explain it as a mass form of energy. Yes, like I said, that the living person is controlling unknowingly. Whatever the case may be, poltergeists have caught the attention of paranormal enthusiasts and experts, scientists, and many others who are just plain curious. So it's interesting what it says here. Some experts explain it as a mass form of energy that a living person is controlling unwillingly. And I think it's almost like they do a dance with you. So they feed off your fear, they feed off your anger, and then they create the ruckus. So we always have to be mindful how we carry ourselves, not to harbor anger, fear, guilt, because it's like a magnet. We attract things. And if you have a poltergeist around, you're going to have yourself, your hands full. And number 4 is orbs. Orbs are probably the most photographed type of anomaly. You take pictures, you see a lot of orbs. in a very highly energized spirit realm. They appear as a transparent or translucent ball of light that is hovering over the ground. Many ghost hunters and guests of ghosts and gravestones are surprised to see them in their photos. It is believed that orbs are the souls of a human or even an animal that has died and is traveling around from one place to another, through and for. What's that? That reminds me of how Satan will come through and fro from all over the earth. The circular shape that takes on makes it easier for them to move around, and it's often the first state they appear in before they become a full body apparition. I guess that's like their traveling mode, little orbs, and then they become a full body apparition. If you're lucky enough to capture an orb on video, you'll be amazed by how fast they can move. In photographs, they're usually white, but can be blue as well. And the last one is funnel ghosts, most often spotted in homes or in old historical buildings. The funnel ghost or vortex is frequently associated with a cold spot. I've actually heard that too, and I've actually felt, it's like you feel a change in temperature, when there is spirits lingering. They usually take on the shape of swirling funnel, and most paranormal experts believe there are loved ones returning for a visit or even a former resident of a home. Appearing as a wisp of light or swirling spiral of light, they are often caught in photographs or on video. I lived in a place before that, there was like, that place was like super haunted. I saw over 10 different types of spirits and things. I mean, be watching TV and I was like, what was that? And I'm sure I've shared this before, looking in the mirror and I see something, I look back, they're gone. It's some places, just have a lot of that going on. Hey, AK, thank you for joining us. And let's see here. Martin says, you have to remember, Mark, over 13 injured workers. You said, yeah, she is not kind. Building company canceled the contracts now. The house sits alone, dark, silent, often a lantern seen going through upstairs. She's probably still dealing with a lot of things that she dealt with when she was alive. And I'm assuming she was mistreated and doesn't like men much. That's what I'm getting. And I don't blame the company for not wanting. I mean, who wants to continue to have their guys killed or hurt, when the place is known to be haunted and it's very obvious that she does not want them there. And Uz Martin says, enough to terrify in the town. I'm making a documentary on the house soon. That should be a very fascinating documentary, and I wish you well, and I hope that nothing happens to you while you're making the documentary. Like I said, she doesn't take kindly to men, and there was something that happened to her that created that angst, Amparejo says, I've witnessed poltergeist at this hotel. Yeah, poltergeist could actually be very, very terrifying. And like the article said, oops, someone's calling. My mom, I can't answer that right now. What you call it? It's I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the poltergeists. They're very angry at times, and they'll pick up your energy. So if you're an angry person and are holding a lot of things, and poltergeists are feeding, because they're like vampires. They feed off energy, and that's no different from the archons and no different from the adversary. It's just, that's what they do. They feed off energy. Who's Martin says, I've never seen ghost pictures before that shows the face seen in the same place decades apart, yet recognizable. They look exactly the same. I didn't even realize that they were that many years apart. Quite emotional when I caught that moment. Many think it's a glass stain. It does not look like a glass stain whatsoever. I've actually, looked at it up close and personal, made it, I zoomed in, and it definitely has, as clear as day, the picture of, I guess, a female that I can, just kind of like reminded me of the sweet transvestite guy. Life after death. I mean, there are 6 insights into the spirit world. Let me go ahead and share that on the screen. I've always been very fascinated by the paranormal. It's always been one of those things that, I don't know, ever since I was a kid, I've been visited. I've always wanted to learn, always been intrigued. And it's fascinating. I mean, who doesn't find that kind of stuff fascinating? I know a lot of people are fearful, but we need to move past fear and try to understand things. So let's see, Life After Death, Insights from the Spirit World. In 1990, I attended the annual conference of the International Association of Near-Death Studies, held that year in Washington, D.C. with Robert Millett. We didn't quite know what to expect. Was the conference going to be comprised of UFO chasers, people with aluminum foil hats, and the likes? Why is it people always try to tinfoil hats and try to make people think like they're crazy when they're dealing with things that it's unknown to them? But it wasn't like that at all. There were scientists, medical doctors, scholars from many academic disciplines, theologians and clerics from clerics, I guess, from diverse faith, and many good women and men who had experienced some sort of encounter with the spirit world and sought to make sense of it all. As impressive as the gathering was, what had a greater impact on me was that most of these people were generally unfamiliar with the Latter-day Saint beliefs about the afterlife. It made me realize that we possess unique, profound doctrines concerning the role of the spirit that perhaps we take for granted, or we're just not taught about it. It's not something that's taught in mainstream. They don't teach you that in school. They don't even talk about that stuff in religious teachings, right? Recently, I read a statement in a book published by Yale University that confirms a distinct nature of our beliefs, said Arthur Colleen McDaniel and Bernard Slang. While most contemporary Christian groups neglect afterlife beliefs, what happens to people after they die is crucial to LDS teachings and rituals. Heavenly theology is a result not of mere speculation, but of revelation given to past, present church leaders. There has been no alterations of the LDS understanding of the afterlife since its articulation by Joseph Smith. If anything, the Latter-day Saints in the 20th centuries have become even bolder in their assertion of the importance of their heavenly theology. In the light of what they perceive as a Christian world which has given up belief in heaven, many Latter-day Saints feel even more of a responsibility to define the meaning of death and eternal life. Here are just a few of these profound principles about the afterlife that are unique to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Number one, understanding that afterlife brings consolation. Clearly, ancient prophets had some understanding of the spirit world. In the Old Testament, the author of Ecclesiastes wrote that after we die, we return unto God. Jesus, speaking to the thief on the cross, said, "Today shalt thou be with me in paradise." Peter clearly taught that Christ went to preach the gospel in the spirit world, but these ancient prophets don't give us any descriptions of what the spirit world is like or where it is. And I wonder why. As members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint, we are blessed to have additional insight of modern revelation. Let me see here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. They wondered if their predecessors would be able to gain exhalation as the prophet Joseph had taught, and he taught about it a great deal. Through these teachings, we can know that our loved ones are at peace, that they are near us and engaged in a profound work, and then they have never-ending reserve of hope provided through the Savior's atonement. Now, I'm reading this, and I've got my own belief. Yes, I do know that some spirits do linger, but I believe that once you get out of this matrix, once you leave the grid, that there is something else. There's something more than just heaven and hell, as most religious dogma teaches. I think there's a lot more to it than that. Number two, the afterlife is a place of rest. Again, there's many different variations of this. I love the statement from the prophet Joseph Smith. It reads, recounted by Benjamin F. Johnson, who said that prophet, with a deep drawn breath, as a sigh of weariness, sank down heavily in his chair and said, "Oh, I am so tired, that I often feel to long for my day of rest. For what has there been in this life for tribulation for me?" I think of spirit and I think of energy, not as a restful state. I think of something that's ever moving, ever evolving, ever changing. Hence how we got here in the first place. When you think about what the saints had gone through, particularly in Missouri, and how after they came to what they assumed would be a place of peace, and rest in Nauvoo, the storm clouds began to gather again. You know, they must have wondered, when will we ever find rest? And number 3, I'm going to go ahead and jump to number 3. The spirit world is right here on earth. And this story highlights another important doctrine of the restored gospel. The spirit world is right here on earth, and the spirit of our departed loved ones are in reality among us. This doctrine is a comforting to the saints as it is unique among Christian beliefs of the afterlife. Our deceased family and friends are not gone, neither are they far, far away in some distant heaven. I hear this, and it makes me want to think of the Archon's way of getting us back here. Oops, what's going on here? Getting us back here, going to the light, coming back for recycle, reincarnation. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't want to say that I don't believe in it, because I like to have an open mind. I think it's important to have an open mind and an open heart. I love to read different things. I like to learn different things, and I kind of like put my own, knowing, that little knowing center that we have, and kind of make it my own. The spirit world will be familiar according to this, and the atonement covers those in the spirit world, and we will obtain inexpressibly glory in the afterlife. Again, to me, very a lot of religiosity, and now I'm going to ask you what you guys think about that. Let's see here. No sound? There's sound. Everybody else says there's sound. Let me see here. Test, 1. Oh, there's sound. So it must be something. Okay, so it was you. I was like, don't tell me that. I just read all that. Hey, Dottie, thank you for joining. Thank you. Let's see here. Who's Martin says, on quick note, although seeing her face is often caught shaking so fast in a blur and she moves away from the window, the gatekeeper says it happens just before sundown. I'm sure. And I said, it's like spirits are like a whirlwind. They move fast. That's why when I read that about looking for a place of rest, I don't think energy ever really rests. I don't think that's part of our makeup, of our nature. Everything's always, if you look out in the universe with a new holoscope, new things are constantly always creating a whirlwind. Look around you. Everything's always moving. What makes us think that when we leave this body, there's going to be any rest? I think we've only just begun, right? And AK says, who's Martin? Don't listen to others. Make your own mind about it. Totally, right? Martin says, I'm open-minded, but never say I bribe. It's a ghost. It is what it is. I'm open to whatever it is. And that's a good way of being open. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to poo-poo on beliefs. I may not fully be on board with something, but I'm always going to have an open mind and put stuff on the shelf. So let's see here. And thank you for joining us, Girl with No Name. You're blonde. It's okay. I'm doing great, Rex. How about yourself? Hope you settled, made peace with a guy at work, and is not letting him bug you in any way. Like the lights, yeah, they're back there, little lights. But yeah, what do you guys think about the spirit world? Do you feel that the spirits just linger here? And I'm sure that some do. With trauma, unresolved issues, I'm sure that some do linger. But I think once you resolve and you get past the gatekeepers that want to bring you back here and you make it off the grid, I think there's just other I can't even label it. Just other forms of life, parallel universes, more exciting things, Wisdom Wildcard joins us. We are energy. Energy is always in motion. That's right. That's totally right. Energy is always in motion. You're calling today, Rex? That's awesome, brother. I love that. I love, being able to make peace with things is so important. It makes us feel good when we could resolve something, sometimes painful things. If we make peace with it and we resolve it, it no longer becomes a burden in our hearts. and that's important. It's so important to do that. The guy caught me off guard, had to mediate on myself a bit after that. Thanks, Mark. Anytime, brother. Appreciate your encouragement. That's what we're here for as a family, to encourage one another. But, we need, hello, Willow Petro. What do you think of those who are bound to this body, unable to astral travel because we asked our Stars family to withhold that information from us? It could be, or it could be fear. A lot of people fear not being able to get back to their bodies. So that fear alone doesn't allow you to leave, because, you leave and you're like, how do I get back? How do I know I won't get lost somewhere? And then we do have a tethered cord that's connected to us that we could safely return. But a lot of people don't trust that, and they're fearful. It takes work too. It's like building a good body. You could go to the gym for a year or two till you get the body that you want, and you got to eat right. So the same thing goes, how to learn how to get out of these bodies safely, in and out, with purpose, and to be able to trust your guide, because we all have a higher self. That's our guide. And once you start making that connection with your higher self, then it's like you're able to feel freer to do such things. And girl with her name says, I used to hear little footsteps running across the floor in a house in the apartment upstairs. I lived downstairs. There's a place here called the Conway House. Buildings like from the 1800s. When I first moved here to Silver City, I rented a studio apartment there. And let me tell you, oh my Lord, it's like noises, creaking, saw things, but like I said, I'm not fearful. I won't let them feed off the fear energy, because that just really complicates things. Girl with the name Spooner says, did research to find out that a child ran across house and jumped out the window in 1930s. Wow. See, any kind of trauma, death does not allow the spirit to cross over safely unless somebody goes in there and works with that spirit and allowing that spirit to cross over safely. Spirit will be bound. It's almost like a loop. It keeps playing, same loop, because it's energy, and energy has memory. And it has this sort of like when you take a picture, there's an image, right? That image remains there, where we create fingerprints, footprints, and things in this world where we live in. And if we are still bound here for some reason or another, our entire spirit could be bound here, or parts of us could be bound here if we haven't worked things out. Willow Petro says, I had a mushroom trip in which I was visited by myself from the future, who was a woman, which I interpret as feedback loop leading me to transition to female. I just said loop, and I hadn't read your, but that's what it is. It's like a feedback. It's a constant loop. That's very interesting. Willow, thank you for sharing that. And True Luck says, I never thought much of ghosts, aka paranormal activity, until I moved into my current home. Touch lamps turn on in the middle of the night, and weird smells come and go quickly. Yeah, that's what a lot of people report. I have experienced things like that. Television just shutting off by themselves. I'm like, what? Lights going on and off by themselves. Strange things like that. It appears it might have been a poltergeist, because those are the ones that actually make things move and make a lot of noise. And girl with those names, Spooner says, I think once you exit this matrix, you do not come back at all. Bingo, that's it. We need to be able to escape this matrix, find the little crack in that grid, and get out of town. Because if not, you keep coming back and you keep coming back. And maybe the spirits that are bound here have tried to get out, and they've probably been, traumatized for centuries and lifetime after lifetime. And it's almost like a learned helplessness. So it's important, I know there are people that work with spirits that are bound, that are lost. I mean, I used to love that show, Ghost Whisper, and you really literally have to be like a psychiatrist, a therapist to these spirits to help them cross over safely, avoid the light, avoid the whole thing, and just make dodge, like trying to do a touchdown. And Willow Petro says, higher self. Yes, higher self is the you in another dimension that's very much connected with mother, father, a more evolved you. I believe there's different us in different parallel universes. And right now we're here. There's other of us, which are all connected to mother, father, fragments, if you will. And, we are it's like a coach that serves as a middleman between father and mother, and it's part of mother, father, and we're all connected, but it's like, that's, the one that will coach us. And that voice that we hear within, that recognizable voice that tells us things, that is our higher self speaking to us, which again, is all part of mother and father. Girl with no name says, if we do not exit this construct, we continue coming back. Totally. And it's like Groundhog Day. Dottie K says, true luck, often smell of flowers in my, I don't know what that is. Don't know what that is, but I'm sure you will let me know what an is. But yeah, smells, feelings, smells, change of temperature. Willow Petro says, do you think that transition can be a form of atonement for spiritual crimes? Do I think that transition can be a form of atonement for spiritual crimes? Well, not quite sure. Are you saying that if we keep coming back, or lack of transition could be a punishment for spiritual crimes? Is that what you're asking? If you could elaborate a little bit more. And Amparejo says, how to exit for real? Wes Penry has a lot of great information about that on his channel and his blog. But what I know and what I feel in my heart is that there's been cracks made in the grid. And when you die, don't be in shock. Don't be listening to your so-called loved ones who are not your loved ones. Those are fake. Don't be like looking at the light thinking, oh, I want to go meet Jesus. And, and you follow that light, you're going to get sucked back in here again. Just go look up, find the crack in the grid, and head out. Gigi for Truth says, Hindu goal is not to come back. Exactly. I think that's all of our goal. We don't want to come back. So we got to do everything possible to do what we're supposed to do, to fulfill our contracts, to learn our lessons, to evolve, to not be stuck in this human construct with these humanly bodies that keep us bound to this realm. And that's the way to get out. Just detach completely. Hindu, okay, so girl with no name says, do you think maybe mother, father is our higher self? Very much so. Fragments, because we are all connected. We're all fragments and part of mother, father. Gail Single says, the ones that come back are attaching to us, using our energy, not really their own person, and an unsatisfactory experience because of beliefs in reincarnation. Yes, that's why we have to get our beliefs in order, and we have to get rid of all the junk and all the baggage that we have gathered throughout many lifetimes. And it takes a lot of inner work. It takes a lot of soul searching. It takes a lot of repair in order for us to it's like a balloon, those hot air balloons. You need to just throw all those bags down so that the balloon can go up in the air. And Dottie K says, often have flowers smell in my daughter's bedroom. She said Nana was there. Wow. You see, children see. I remember seeing tons when I was a kid, tons. I had a client who said her little boy would look out the window and said he would see this little girl in the window of the house across. And sure enough, there was a little girl that died there. She drowned in the pool. And her little son would see the little girl, And children do see spirits, as do animals. Willow Petra says, don't know exactly what I meant. We'll think on it. Okay. Gail Single said, a lot of transgender and even homosexual feelings because a male spirit has attached to a female body, for example. I totally believe that. I totally believe it's some sort of possession. I at one point used to say it was a demon possession, that they just kind of linger and they want to be in a body and they enter. Maybe call it walk-ins, make it whatever we want to call it. But I totally, truly believe that happens. And if you're not strong enough and you're in pain, they will take over. They will literally take over. Dottie says, truth, that's my goal too. Yes. AK says, Gail Single, this is the reincarnation machine because we are been taken over by a parasitic race. Totally. And literally, not just spiritually a parasitic, but we become infested with parasites. They think for you. All those cravings, food cravings, all those thoughts that you have to do things that you wouldn't want to do and you're fighting yourself to do, but they still take over, is parasitic infestation. Energetically and also physically, they are in you. That's why it's important to do cleansing, fast, not eat so much, allow the body to cleanse itself. And girl in the name said, think you are correct, AK. Totally. AK is always on the money. I love AK. All right, let's talk a little bit about fasting. I think fasting is another elixir of life. It's important to allow your body to cleanse itself. If you think about it, we keep feeding ourselves junk. Not only are we feeding ourselves junk, but we're thinking junk. We're stressing ourselves out all the time, 24/7. And it's junk in, junk in, junk in. Your body needs a purge. Your body needs to get rid of all this stuff some way or another. So fasting is very good. Fasting is something that's important. So it produces an anti-aging molecule. Let me share this because I like you guys to read along. If you guys like to read along, let's think it makes it a little bit more. Okay, so let's see here. It looks like while we were busy in finding cures to human longevity in the outside world, the remedy actually lies within ourselves. Isn't that something? I mean, everything is always inside. The answers are within you. Everything's within you. According to research led by Georgia State University, you can actually delay your vascular aging process by the aid of an amazing molecule that is generated during fasting or calorie-restricted periods. And I could vouch for this. I've seen a lot of my clients highly improve their health, their mental health, their physical health, lack of aging. When you eat, you create free radicals, which ages you dramatically. What is vascular aging? We may ask. Well, vascular aging or arterial stiffening, in simple words, is a degenerate change that occurs with an increase in age. The arteries slowly lose their ability of elasticity due to the fraying of lamellar elastin elements present in the walls of arteries due to continual mechanical stress. Even your car, you go and go and go, and your body, needs time out sometimes. Other factors that also lead to deprivation in the arterial elasticity include the changes related to the arterial collagen protein and also due to advanced glycation end products. As people become older, they are more susceptible to disease, like cancer, cardiovascular disease, and yes, Alzheimer's disease. This was said by Dr. Ming-Hui Zhu, senior author of study director of Center for Molecular and Translation Medicine at Georgia State and a Georgia Research Alliance eminent scholar in molecular medicine. That was a mouthful. Age is the most important so-called risk factor for human disease. How to actually delay aging is a major pathway to reducing the incidence and the severity of human disease. It's all in your hands, folks. The remarkable anti-aging molecule, the hydroxybutyrate, research scientists in the study traverse the connection between periods of fasting or eating less with the slowing down of aging. This area of human physiology has remained unknown or less explored, till now. The scientists found out the presence of a compound, let's call it BH for short, which has the capacity to decelerate vascular aging phenomena. This compound acts on the endothelial cells that line the interior of the blood and lymph vessels. The compounds can help in the prevention of cellular aging, also called senescence. Senescent cells lose their ability to completely multiply and divide. And that's what happens. We start losing a lot of cells real quickly. Muscle mass starts declining after the age of 35, but it doesn't have to. There's ways around that. Scientists found that BH can actually stop these cells from becoming old by promoting cell division. Furthermore, this compound can also accelerate the activity of a stem cell factor called October 4th, or OCT4, by binding to a particular RNA protein. The octamator binding transcriptional factor elevates an essential factor against DNA damage, induced cell aging that can keep vessels healthy for a longer time. according to the researchers of the OCT4, could act as a pharmaceutical target for minimizing or stopping aging if it can make vascular system younger. This will lead to lesser age-related diseases, which will ultimately lead to an increase in the longevity of lifespans of humans. And like I said, I'm a total believer in this. I've seen it work for myself. I've seen it work for other clients. People eat way too much. You're putting calories in your body, fear of being malnourished. Very few people really die this day and age of malnourishment. With fasting is one of those things that you have to know how to do it. You got to find your sweet spot. Too much fasting for too long could get you in starvation mode where the body starts to break down protein of its own muscle. That's not good. But if you're fasting, you got to listen to your body. There's no set number because we're all different, but your body will let you know. And if you're in tune with your body, you know when to stop before you start feeding off yourself. And it's okay to have fat be fat. You could eat your fat away because you don't need, that much fat in your body, but you have to be careful not to be eating away at your muscle or your organs or things of that nature. I usually recommend 3 to 7 days water fast. If you're first starting, you want to start with 1 day. If you have any health issues, I would highly recommend you seek medical professionals to help you and not the typical man in the white coat. There are places that you go that will support you during your fast. They will monitor you. They, will keep you entertained so you're not bored. It's a very spiritual type environment, and it's got to be awesome because you're healing while you're doing that. And let's see here. What have I missed on the... Hey, she said, I was wondering where you're at. Thank you for joining us. And Catherine joined us. And Zoo Pet, whoa, thank you. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you. My God, thank you. Thank you. And let's see. Willow Petra says, are two-spirit people possessed or are they healers leading the purely male or female? I think two-spirit people are healers. And I believe that we all have the capacity of learning how to balance our male and our female energy. It's part of who we are. It's part of mother, father. Knowing how to balance that is important. There are some two-spirit people that have lived many lifetimes and I've kind of got it. They're like, oh, I got this now. But we all have the capability, the ability to do that. And I think that if you're aware of your two-spirit nature and balance, it's not a possession. I think when we see it a lot in the trans community, when they go from one extreme to the other and they just want to kill their old self, they don't want to even hear their old name. They don't want any part of that. There's something going on there. That possession is being real possessive and it's destroying the life of the human being, in my opinion. True Luck says, what a wonderful reminder of her Nana. Yes, right? The flower smell, yeah. Children are amazing, and they could they sense, and they're not even fearful. I remember the movie Poltergeist, a little girl, no fear whatsoever. She can go in front of the TV is doing the, it's just there going, hi, no fear. They have no fear. It's a beautiful way of being, no fear. Gigi for two says, yes, Dottie, mine too. I've smelled Jergens lotion. My grandmother smelled several times. And yeah, I mean, it's like the smell of, it's like I would know my grandmother by her smell because we all have this beautiful scent that's distinct to us, whether it's the perfume we wore or the lotion we wore, just the essence of self. Rex says, yes, these parasites want us to become narcissists. They do. And it's encouraged. And we have to fight back against that silly thinking. And I know it's hard. Bro, I know it's so hard. Been there, done that. It's so easy to take oneself too seriously and think, but we have to tap into our divinity and keep ourselves humble and realize that we're not our bodies. We're not our identities. We are spirits having a human experience. And Girl with No Name Spooner says, most of us don't even realize that the thoughts we have are not even ours. So true. So very true. And Catherine said, hi, Rebecca, or it's love and kisses to Rebecca. And Willow Petra says, I think I meant that transition is a difficult process, and to do it gracefully can be a form of higher purpose. You're talking about transitioning from male to female, or are you talking about spiritual transitioning? is a difficult process to do it gracefully, can be a form of higher purpose. If you're talking about, let's give the both scenario. You're talking about a male to female or female to male. If they use this as a form of spiritual elevation, of getting to know self, because I do believe that there are individuals, especially the two spirits, that really try to balance and try to understand both their energy for a higher purpose. Because I believe we all need to do that. We all have a male and a female side, and it's time for us now, this day and age, to bring that into volition. And I think it's been corrupted by the adversary, and hence we have the trans agenda. But there is something very pure and very full of love and light regarding knowing how to balance, how to become mother and father, how to unite those two beautiful energy, the yin and the yang. And if you're talking about transitioning into the other world, it is a difficult thing to do. But if you do the work while you're here and you're not fearful and you don't fall for religious dogma, the transition should be a lot easier. True Luck says, wow, Sue, you're awesome. Isn't she? My God, I totally appreciate you, Sue. And I appreciate all of you. But my God, thank you so very much. And Girl with No Name Spooner says, Catherine, and a bunch of little pink hearts. And Catherine says, hello, lovely ones. Hello, Catherine. Hope you got your air fryer and then you are enjoying it and know how to use it. Sometimes it takes a little time to get the knack of it so you don't burn things or undercook things. AK said, Rex Clark, right now we are talking, Rex Clark, right now we are talking in their's favorite playground. Yeah, we are. And yes, Dottie K says, so awesome, Suped. Yes. And she said, says hi. And Suped says, love you all. And we love you, Suped. Dottie says, hi, Catherine, much love. Catherine Willie says, I'm learning a lot from Mark's info. Thank you, Mark. You're very welcome. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to serve my family, my tribe. I am so very grateful for all of you. And like I said, I can't wait. Road. And oh my God. AK says, she said, hi. And Truck Luck said, hi, said, she said. And sounds like I'm doing like a little poetry thing there. And Catherine Willie says, am I the only one buffering? Am I buffering? I can't tell if I'm buffering, Catherine. How do you call it? Refresh your page. That usually helps, Catherine. Catherine Willie Suped, good day, AK. Hey, Dottie says, she said, Rex says, wow, Suped, awesome. Scott says, she said, hearts, little hands, and a wave. Gigi for Tooth. I saw a video of man fasted every other day, lost 70 pounds. I do intermittent fasting, and that's eating fasting for 23 and eating for an hour a day. And I love it. I love it. I'm thinking when I head out on the road, because cooking and stuff like that, living in cars, I'll have a setup, but I might fast for a whole day and then eat the next day or something like that. Because the less you rely on food, the healthier you feel, the more energized you feel. I feel super energized, super energized, because your body's not having to waste all that energy by eating. Every time you eat and you have to digest, you just don't know how much energy you're consuming and how much free radicals you're actually consuming. Like I said, how many people really die of malnutrition? That's not here in this country anyway. Your body has enough fat storage to probably last, a good week without eating, and sometimes even longer. But like I said, you got to listen to your body because you don't want to start feeding off your muscle. And I already read that. AK say thanks, 2:30 a.m. I don't know what that means. She says, tune in just in time to remind me I'm fat. Now. It's all for health. It's not vanity. It's health. I want all of you to be healthy, to keep your vessel nice and healthy. And Dottie says, LOL. Rex Clark says, lol. She said, that's okay. Fasting is going to cure it all. Exactly, Rex. You got it. And Gail says, just sent a couple of pics to your email of my vegan 1 meal a day. Had a couple of the pizza and some seaweed crackers as well. Okay, later after I'm done with the show, I usually check my email and I'll check that and I respond. I try to eat healthy on my 1 meal a day because I'm thinking, I'm trying to clean my body out of toxins. I don't want to pollute my body on that one meal, but I'm not judging you. If that works for you and you feel good and you're losing weight and you feel awesome, we got to do what works for each and every one of us, you know? Me, I'm a stickler. I am like Sergeant Mark Angelo, you know, and it's like, this is what it is. I make a great coach. I make a great life coach. I'm looking for when I get on the road, if anybody wants to hire me to do a makeover of their kitchen, teach you how to eat right, how to cook delicious, because I'm a great vegan cook. I cook raw vegan. I cook cooked vegans, you know, type of foods. And I'm looking forward to doing that, you know, for those of you that want me to do that for you, teach you how to shop and all that great stuff. Catherine Willie says, AK 4:30 p.m. here in Alaska. Wow. Okay. Also, you were saying what time it was where you're at, 2:30 a.m. Boy, you're up late, AK. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. Catherine says, Mark, do you know what chimera means? Chimera? Is that a Spanish word? Chimera. Never heard of that. Never heard of that. She says that, I do. Hands up, but will Mark answer? Let Mark. No. Chimera. Chimera. Don't know what that is. But I'm dying to know. Let me finish reading this. I've got to go. Love you all so much. Thank you, Mark, for all you do. Thank you, Dottie. Appreciate your presence always and love you very much. And Gail Single, going on a month without meat. I have so much energy now. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. I love to hear that people benefit, you know, from a healthier lifestyle, that you're adding years to your life. You're adding more brain cells. You're feeling more vigorous and healthy, and that's beautiful. I'm so glad. And like I said, she said, don't worry. Take little steps, and it's going to be good. Don't be obsessed with it. That's right. You know, one day at a time, one moment at a time, as long as you're on the right track. If you fall off, you wipe your knees and you pick yourself back up and you start over, and you're doing it, you know. It's just doing it, And Rex Clark says, awesome, Catherine. And Gail Single says, aka reference reincarnation. It does feel that way, but I don't believe that to be the case. Okay. And Catherine says, Mark, I was born both sexes, women outside parts, male balls inside. Had to have the male parts removed inside. Wow, Catherine. So you're intersex. That's, there's tons of intersex individuals. There's so many different varieties, different chromosome assemblies. I have what they call progestin-induced virilization because my mom took DES to prevent miscarriages. So, you know, I'm infertile. I have a retrouterus. I've always had a deep voice. I've always had more hair than the average female. I've always had what they call a micropenis. I know TMI, but yeah, there's a lot. And a lot of that also, I mean, I don't want to blame it all on chemicals. I think that it's just things that happen, you know, it's just things that happen. But at least, you know, they didn't mess with you like they mess with babies, where they try to like make them one gender and the other before they know, as they get older and feel comfortable with how they feel inside. But most intersex people want to be left alone. Rex Clark says, such a scam, 3 meals a day. Wow, that seems great. 23 hours fast, eat light for an hour. I eat a lot in that hour. You know, but a lot of healthy foods, like a huge bowl of different greens. I'll make either rice with beans or different types of grains with lentils, pasta, potato, and I throw all that on top of the salad. And then a lot of times I make garbanzo dressing, you know, with garbanzo and different tomatoes and herbs and stuff like that. And then a bowl of oatmeal with berries. And I mean, by the time I'm done eating, I'm like, okay, I'm stuffed. I can't eat anymore. I'm good till the next day. Because you want to provide as much nutrients as you can. And as you know, plant-based diet, it's a lot of water, dense food. So it makes you feel like you're like about to explode. When I head on the road, I'm probably going to tone it down. I probably won't eat as much, you know, but it's all in baby steps. I originally started with 2 meals a day. So I did the 16-8, you know, but now 23-1, and I love that. Souphead, got to go. Thank you, Mark, and I love you all so very much. Thank you, Souphead. Thank you for joining, and thank you for your support and your gift, and I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so very much. And she said, says, truly, I'm not obsessed with, because I understand why I've been overeating. Working on the root cause of that is primary. Definitely. That's one of the things that I used to work with my clients and my patients. The studio called Bodies Under Construction Salon and Personal Training Studio. It was a one-on-one training facility. I had other trainers that I trained under my system. And that's one of the things that I would always get at the root. Okay, why did you overeat? Why was there a metabolic problem? Was there a metabolism problem? Was there an emotional problem? Was food your comfort? Was food your crush, your coping mechanism? So when you find the heart of it all, you really are able to beat the whole weight gain and, forever change your life, because it's a lifestyle. Diets don't work. Let's see here. I keep regurgitating my meal. It's like I eat so much that it's still trying to digest itself down there. AK says, Gail Single, you have free will to believe what you think. Totally. We all have that free will. And Rex says, fasting and good moody blues songs like I Know You're Out There Somewhere and I Win at Life. Totally, Rex. Totally. Catherine Willis says, I had tons of problems with the male parts, still had tiny male parts outside. So you have a micro, like I do, microbe. I don't want to say the word and then get flagged or something, but we all know what we're talking about. We'll just create a sign language or something. She said, sorry, says AK. And she said, an animal chimera is a single organism that is composed of two or more different populations of genetically distinct cells that originated from different zygotes involved in sexual reproduction. I studied the reproduction system. I never remember that chimera, but I'm 54. I went to college late. I actually started when I was 24, and I've forgotten a lot of stuff, and anatomy and all the physiology and all that stuff. I mean, I know a lot of it, obviously, but never heard of that one before. So thank you for the information. If the different cells have emerged from the same zygote, the organism is called mosaic. Yes. Chimera, the meaning I know is that it was a mythical monster that breathes fire. Ooh, that chimera. There's different ways of pronouncing that, I guess. And chimera or chimera or Carmera, also chimera, Greek, she-goat, according to writers, was a fire-breathing hybrid creature of Lycia in Asia Minor. Wow. I love to learn something new every day, and thank you so much for enlightening my world today with something new. Chimera, a fire-breathing mechanism, and it's also a cell that, composed of the parts of more than one animal. It is usually depicted as a lion with the head of a goat. So, in other words, these things were probably created by the archons when they were messing with creating things in their laboratory. Scott Sattel says, right on. She said, I was looking it up as you posted it. She said, she's fast. Fast as typer in the West, right? And she double checked it. She said, before posting, though, everyone should, I feel I don't like passing on faulty information. And we appreciate that. And Pheonix I Am joins us. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your presence. I love you. I love you very much. Never meant to hurt you with my words. You know that your input is always welcome. And my little dense brain may not understand it all the time, but now, you could call me and you could tell me, because I'm more of an auditory learner. The Hat Man, Anku, the king of the dead bird, the death bird, the owl, Bohemian Grove, they worship it. I used to watch Alex Jones on the beginning, and some of the videos that he caught when he sneaked in there was very disturbing. Bohemian Grove and that owl worshiping. And you notice that in Money, there's the owl. They have all this stuff all over the place. Harry Potter has that chimera. Oh, wait, the last movie that Linda and I went to see had this thingy. It was like a weird looking, I guess, the Chimera. It was like, it's like a little gremlin looking thing or something, or a flying thing, or there was this big flying monster in the last movie. I forgot the name of it. And Pheonix says, I'm here just watching. I love you too always. But please don't feel like you can't comment or say anything. I don't want to do that. I want you to speak, and I want to learn. I really, truly want to learn. I want to learn from all of you. This is not just me spewing out information. This is sharing. This is our show for us to have a moment of sharing with one another and loving one another. And AK says, she said, you are golden. Yes. Yes, she is. I love, she said, dearly. And Catherine says, I used to hide from the hate put on me. I now love myself no matter. That's the way to be. Love yourself unconditionally, no matter what we look like, no matter what bits we've been given, no matter what, because it's all about love. That's passing the test. That's, that's a test that we have to pass. Totally. And some of us messed up, and then we get it after the fact. Then we have to go, well, can't do much about what I've done to myself, but I could try to educate others to prevent them from going down this road. And no judgment, just pure love. It's all coming out of love. I love everyone. No judgment, just trying to speak my truth and trying to help a brother and a sister out some way possible. Just bought a fedora, Pheonix. Another word that I do not recognize, a fedora. And Scott Satella says, just watch the Alex Jones expose on Bohemian Grove. Molech worship. Yep, creepy stuff, man. I've been watching that stuff since 2007 when my awakening, first documentary I watched that helped with my awakening was Zeitgeist. And then from then, it was like I opened Pandora's box and whoa, love that, like that. Thank you, Pheonix. Thank you. To hide my little bald head. But, and it's also cold. It's been cold. We're supposed to get some sort of cold front, and it's supposed to possibly snow. Possibly. I hope it doesn't because I'm over the snow thing. So Pheonix says, Scott, I have the file M16 and it shows it all. Wow. You had a file M16 and it shows it all. Yeah. About the Bohemian Grove and that, and they do weird things, weird things. I had a dream once, and it was very strange. It's like that movie Eyes Wide Shut, Closed, or something like that with Tom Cruise and the redhead he was married to. I forgot her name now, but I had a dream like that a long time ago that I was in this. It was like a ritualistic type of thing, and I was like literally running for my life because they realized that I didn't belong there, but I went in there kind of like Alex Jones did, just to snoop around and get information, and it was like a really scary dream. Catherine says, Chimera is pronounced Chimera. It's not a human. I'm an intersex. Insects? Yeah, intersex. And you're beautiful, Catherine. Inside and out, completely. And she says, Catherine, it's used in many contexts depending on the group textual use. Later, you can shave it and get a tan. Yeah, when I'm out on the road, we'll see how that all is going to. My computer died shortly after I'm done reading it. All right, so let's go to our next article, The Divine Masculine End. Let me share it here so you guys could all see it. Actually, before we do that, I wanted to do the music thing in between, kind of like take a little break and do a little dance. This is a live performance that I did when I was RVing for a while. This was my ex, who we had a group called Transcend. Let me see if this is being shared here. Yes, it is. Okay. This was one of the songs I wrote. I Stand Alone. And make sure this is on so it sounds right. Just to let me disconnect and connect back on. And make sure. There we go. And yeah, I enjoyed this performance. Here we go.
I feel so empty. I look away, finding I try to be all that you wanted, but I still felt short and couldn't be. Fire and light, the wind must die. My love came through, even the night. You swept me away with all your lies. But I just goodbye, you sacrifice my soul. And here I stand alone again. Too close, that could hold me. The heart was tied together on ways. I was the one who came to save you. Yet I realized to say that was for me. Fire and light, the wind must die. And love came through, even the night. You swept me away with all your lies. I still survive and sacrifice my soul. And here I stand alone again. Years go by, and I'm still heartbroken. The smell of you still lies within my soul. Can I erase those precious moments? The name of you will never dissipate. Fire and light, the wind must die. A love came through, even the night. Swept me away with all your lies. But I still survive, sacrifice my soul. And here I stand alone again. Stand alone. Stand alone. Yeah, I stand alone I stand alone I stand alone. I stand alone. Yes, I stand alone.
Right here. Yeah, I love music. You know, writing. I've been writing since I was 10 years old. I lost my voice when I transitioned. Vocal cords changed. I used to be a soprano. Used to be able to sing very high notes. Now I can sing very low notes. So I guess I switch one to the other. What I love about performing is feeling that exchange, that energy exchange between people I'm playing for, and it's just like this dance, this love. It's just it's a beautiful thing, beautiful exchange, and yeah, it's a wonderful thing. And thank you for high praises there. Amparejo says that I remind her of Bowie, and someone else said that I reminded them of Stephanie Allen said a young David Bowie. I've like I said, I've traded the high voice to the very deep, very battle gut voice. So I guess I can't complain. But I'm glad you all enjoyed that. I figure I want to do that, put the music in between instead of at the end. That way it's kind of like a little break, little mellowness. So let's go with the divine masculine, return of the divine feminine. There we go. And then we scroll this baby up. And as the divine feminine has truly returned and is being anchored in, the divine masculine is feeling this change to the very core of his being. He must now adjust to a new way of life, living an expression thereof, and therefore often is deeply confused of his own role within the change. That's very interesting. Often deeply confused of his own role within the change. Funny because I haven't read the article. I pick these articles out. It sounds good to me. It feels good. It resonates. I pick it. And I'm like, okay, this is the one that I'm going to choose. I don't read them beforehand. I'm reading for the first time here with you. Sometimes he feels threatened to the core for the structures and forms he had set into motion during the time of Avalon and truly implemented during the time of Atlantis is suddenly not working anymore. And that as much as he tries to regain control, he is losing control faster than he knows what to do with it. His confusion is mostly within the mind. And then with the hard mind opening the immense portal of consciousness everywhere, he is in constant battle between his mind and his heart. Hence why we're seeing this gender confusion. Hence why we're seeing what we're seeing. More than this, he is confused within the whole structure of love, loving and commitment. And it's almost like he does not quite know what to make of the divine feminine. And yet is deeply fascinated by the very depth, the mystery of her. He has always been fascinated by the very depth of her, the feeling part of her, and her all-knowing, which he has to force sometimes, while she just knows. He cannot fool her, for all her honing systems are already sensing what he is trying to hide from her. Oh. And hide from her he does. He loves going into that cave, that ivory tower he has created for himself. When the world gets too much and he kind of shrinks away from her, he invented the corporate world for himself so that he could build the massive ivory towers, the towering penises, the phallus, the skyscrapers, everywhere at this is his power symbol. Penetrative, hard. It is almost like he is ashamed of being bendable, pliable. No, he thinks he must be that hard edge and in control. When he's in control of himself, his feeling on his own created world of power, he feels safe. Yet there comes the divine feminine, and somehow his ivory towers don't work anymore. And he deep down, he is so yearns to have that deep depth of knowing, the deep feeling within his own structure. For he gets mighty lonely in that cave, in the bastion, with all its defenses and structures of what he feels makes him the man he is. Only thing is, when he sits there cushioned, safe, and secure in the ivory tower, the hard penis he has constructed for himself, he suddenly is left alone with himself. He might control the whole world, all in it, but deep down he feels as in this immense void, something is drastically wrong and missing. Go back in the creation story, and there Adam has it all. He is in paradise and has everything God created for him, but he is missing something. He has a void. So he, in this state of deep void, disgruntled, goes to the divine and asks him to remedy that, to create something or someone who would fill him up of the void inside of himself. So God created the female, the divine feminine, and therefore the first Lilith and then Eve. Now Lilith was a free spirit. If ever there has been there, she was vibrantly alive, sensuous, feeling, and had a will of her own. She loved to explore, to create, to dance, wild and free. And she did not like him to be on top of her when they had union. She also wanted to be on top of him sometimes and play with him in ways where he felt he was losing control. Fire Lilith, wasn't she? He feared losing control more than anything else. Intensely, Lilith was the true expression of the divine feminine in her exuberant, vibrant, and totally empowered form, but Adam could not handle her. Woo. His hands and his minds were too small. So he again complained bitterly to God. And so he divorced Lilith, and then came Eve. Eve he could control, and Eve was pliable, soft and yielding, compassionate, and therefore more to his biting. But deep down, Adam was not happy, for he missed Lilith in his own way. And to be quite honest, he kind of found Eve too boring, for she was too pliable, too loving. The story, like all the stories of creation, has an eternal truth hidden within it. It seemed that Adam could not find himself compatible with any of the divine feminine God created for him. Somehow, no matter in what form she appeared, something deep inside of him wanted more. It was exactly this discontentment which created the fall of mankind. So no matter what God created for Adam, it never seemed good enough. Adam wanted more. And isn't that a lot with men? They always want more. Let us pause for a minute here and then look at the traits of the divine masculine, and I will list them here. As yang, heaven, sun, fire, movement, consciousness, Shiva, form, warm, active, outward, and surface, expanding light and day, ascending fast. As masculine, emptiness, mental, mind, no thing or nothing, purpose, penetrative, protective, order and focus, direct, control, initiates, integrity, competitive, rational, witness, simple, directing, solitude, conquering nature, thrives on challenge, goal-oriented, penis, hard, and angular. The divine masculine, when fully empowered, creates structure, form, math, science, order, chaos, builds order out of chaos, builds and destroys, likes to neatly label and calculate, formulates everything in his mind and puts them in a neat little box. He wants to protect his own castle and therefore puts all the bastions in place. He wants to build empires, construct, and therefore wants to rule supreme and control everything. But look closely now, that when the divine masculine has an open heart and has worked with his open mind, he will not create anything which is not in the highest alignment with the divine will and purpose in the divine cosmic laws. He will construct and build and therefore structure and form all under the heavens in a manner which enhances life and therefore which brings balance and harmony into being if he is deeply in touch with his own soul and therefore heart. When the female, the feminine, is denied entrance or not acknowledged deep within himself, he will invariably self-destruct. He's be destructive, for he cannot function just from the mind, devoid of the heart, the void within himself. The void Adam felt was the void of the feminine within the heart/soul connection. This is where this gender confusion stems from, ladies and gentlemen. Interestingly, he needs that heart and soul connection to step into the highest and most empowered vision of himself. We know we're living in end times. We know we're living in a time where everything is going to reveal itself, because this is happening when he becomes soul empowered. He can, in merging with his feminine counterpart, allow his own upper transmitters channels to open. And then he can truly step up into the highest version of the masculine divine and into the highest version of co-creatorship. When his upper transmitter channels and his heart centers are blocked, he will experience immense discomfort of his own sexual area. It will be like he wants to desperately to tap into feminine power, that immense depth, that mystery, which he so feels as void. And then he seeks to abuse his own penis to penetrate as many females as he can, or abuse them to feed his own sexual energy center and ego. There's a deep discomfort, anger, and some hatred. But interesting, this reflects back at the core within himself. He has not owned nor made peace with. He becomes addicted to adrenaline rushes in whatever form this may be, for he is very competitiveness, making dating and womanizing a competitive sport, or he adds them as trophies or a symbol of his own power, or he tries to become her. Yet in the process, no matter how many females he puts into his thing into, he cannot get rid of the void within. And then also deep feeling of self-loathing, self-hate, self-punishment come to the fore, which often will manifest as prostate cancer. It is like his penis is controlling him instead of him controlling it. And in that, then often putting his thing as a type of God, but then disassociating from the same in his mind. He therefore almost goes out of his body and looks himself performing an act, and therefore measuring his power through his member, which makes him masculine, but then somehow shuts down his own heart, soul, feeling capacity. That is why the masculine can do the sexual act without feeling, for his mind shuts down in his feeling center. To him, it is all about performance. It is that he performs the female he is with, feels violated, for deep down she feels that he is not honoring the sacredness of her inner temple, or temples. But more than this, he has no respect for the sacredness of his very own. When the masculine starts opening his heart and soul, a beautiful shift starts to happen as he reintroduces to the beautiful sensitivity of his penetrative organ when he is present within himself and is therefore deeply connected to his heart and soul. He cannot violate her, for he respects himself and her too much. Indeed, his prime bodily member becomes an instrument of love, therefore of giving delight or creating new life, and therefore a wonderful, fully loved, tuned instrument to co-create wonders with her. That just sounds so amazingly beautiful. Then there is a deep desire within him to make her feel his great love for her, and how much he wishes to connect to the beautiful depth, that beautiful mystery of all which makes her female, for she enhances him in so many ways. It becomes his way of showing her how much he loves her and how much he wishes to gift her with all of what is there deep inside his heart and soul. So often he cannot express in words nor put voice to, will speak through the way he makes love to her or does things for her. And let's see if we have any comments before I go on here. Who is playing with you, Mark? That was my ex girlfriend. We used to have a band called Transcend. This was back in 2012, 2013. And let's see here. Catherine says, I feel so at home here. Thank you all. And we love you, Catherine, and we honor your presence here. And this is home. This is home for all of us right here, right now. We're sharing tremendous moments together. And Phoenix says, Anku is supposed to be Adam and Eve's child, and he's called sin, and it is his church. Hard to find, though. And Husmarn says, you need a GoPro for your traveling journey, Mark. Okay. I've got a little camera, but we'll see how the the finances are and things of that nature. Catherine, AK says, Catherine Willie, you are welcome home is where heart is. Yes, yes, AK. And Phoenix says, the divine feminine is God and she creates herself. She is the word. My thoughts, though. And you have beautiful thoughts and very welcome thoughts here, Phoenix. And AK said, Phoenix AM, yes, sin is moon. Yes, and the moon god sin and his son, says Phoenix. And Catherine Willie says, crazy thing is, I got locked up when I was 24 and they didn't know that I was intersex. They didn't even look. I often wonder what would they do if they did. Scary thought. That always going to jail and going in a hospital in an emergency always scares me because of the mismatch and how people don't know how to be compassionate and understanding of things that they may not understand. And she said and says, Phoenix, war ma fe hemanzion ankodruk. Oh, my faith, this one is a nasty anku. Phoenix I Am says, yes. Thumbs up from she said, Phoenix I Am says, soon he flies over and takes his church from their beds. No religion, no church for me, my thoughts. And thumbs up again from she said, whom? And Phoenix I Am says, reference comes after he flies over. No one told me if I study this religious stuff, it would lead to this. I follow nothing. I go fishing. Awesome. And Catherine Willis says, my ex-husband left me after 12 years because of this. Believe me, I'm better off. I'm 57 now. Wow, I turned 55 June 30th, so we're not that far off in age, Catherine. That's really sad that he left you because of that. I mean, people. Phoenix I Am says, I walk in nature and look for my answers. Animals do tell you things. Yes, they do. Not voice-wise, but how they are and where they are, what they do. I love being in nature. I'm so looking forward to the journey, visiting national parks, just sitting on parks and just tapping in. I love to watch birds and squirrels and just could sit for hours watching nature. We learn a lot from that. A woodpecker is dangerous coming. A crow in the road go around. Things like this. They do show you. They do. They know before we know anything because they listen. We don't. Catherine says, Phoenix I Am, my Chihuahua was my best friend. Animals don't judge. Totally. And Phoenix I Am says, love you, Catherine. You are great. She says, I love my dog, Darth Raven. Hey, Darth, shalom. Shalom. And thank you for joining us. And Catherine Phoenix says, I'm 57 also. And I'm Parejo says she's 51. Also, Juno, thank you. So she is a mystery to him as we continue reading, yet it is the very mystery of her which opens up the mystic within himself at the deepest soul level. I love this reading. It's just like sophistry, so like reading about, the fiery essence of a woman and, how like Lilith was, and then came Eve and Eve was like, kind of like, okay, let's tame her down. And it is the eternal dance between, yes, the yin and yang, which created the whole cosmos and all within it. Indeed, she holds the sacred grail within the very depth of all her being. If she is true to her own soul and loves with truth and integrity, the divine feminine gifts him with fullness, sensuality, body, everything, being, receptor, nurturing, chaos, spontaneity, subtle, surrender, sustain, radiance, cooperative, emotional, expressive, colorful, inviting, social, communicating with nature, thrives on praise, process-orientated, vagina, soft and curvy, and the deepest mystery, the keys and codes of creation lie within her. It is not that these are not found in the divine masculine, for we all have the divine masculine and divine feminine within ourselves in some measure or another, but rather that we finally realize that we need both. Life is not one-sided. The scales of balance have both the masculine and feminine. The balance lies in the middle. Therefore, when the male and female are equally empowered, they enhance each other and therefore bring out the best in each other. Most often, when there is an imbalance, the worst. The path to full empowerment lies via the soul and the heart. When the mind is divorced from the heart and soul, the masculine can get totally out of control, and therefore his destructive side emerges more than the structuring side. When the masculine finds the depth of his heart and soul and marries this to his mind, he moves into the full empowerment of the masculine divine. He will start to first go into his gut feeling and then use his mind. so that his upper transmitter channels open. He will also then get in conversation with his own privates. That means he will start forgiving himself for the time he just used in that sacred temple for self-gratification, and therefore then to conquer and to take. He will start loving himself so much that he starts to see this beautiful masculine part of him as a sacred gift that divine masculine was given to penetrate, to fit beautifully into the divine feminine, and therefore to soulfully enter the most sacred temple of her whole soul, heart, and being. When he's in touch with his own sacredness, and therefore with the full intent to gift her with all that he is as a man, his heart, his soul, mind, and being, then he is gifting her with more than all the power and money in the world will ever bring her. And we find that men tend to think they could gift women with material things instead of giving women what they really need and love. And I think this is what's missing so much in this world. And I think this is what we're seeing so much gender confusion. So then we feel this, and we'll open herself in a new and more amazing way to him, because a woman needs to feel safe. A woman needs to know that the man truly loves her, that she's not an object, that he's truly connected with himself to fully connect with her. And she will return this gifting with interest and with so much love that in the very moment two become as one, and therefore the sacred fire ignites, where both now are gifted with the mystery of the divine Godhead itself. That goes beyond words. It goes into the deepest mystery of creation itself. Such experience truly is heaven, for it becomes transcendental. The beautiful blossoming of the divine masculine with the divine feminine brings balance and harmony, and truly is the return to the fullest son and daughtership of the divine. It is the supreme gift of God Goddess, for it reflects their own union within the Godhead. The empowered divine masculine is just as much needed now as the fully empowered divine feminine. When both are equally, and I mean equally empowered, then a full co-creation will return to humankind, and therefore the full powers of the fifth to the seventh dimensional state. A profound healing needs to take place within both the male and female in order for this to happen from deep within. That was just amazing, folks. Amazing. What an amazing article. I felt it. I don't know about you guys, but it's like I've read a lot about the divine masculine and feminine. And like I said, I hadn't even looked, I hadn't read it. When I allow my higher self to pick the articles, I trust my higher self that whatever I find is going to be good, it's going to be wonderful, it's going to really resonate, it's going to, lead to great conversation, a lot of healing, a lot of DNA turning on, and a lot of wonderful things. So I loved it. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's both volume. Hey, Phil, thank you for joining us. Love you, brother. And she says she loves her dog. I read that before, I think. Let me see here. Indigo children. Yes, Phoenix. Lots of indigo. I think we have crystal children now, too. Indigos are like 30, 40 years ago. And the crystal kids are now, and I'm sure there are still many indigo children, a lot of them are adults now. Catherine says, I truly love you all, too. Thank you for no judging. This was not easy for me to share. And we thank you for sharing. My God, this is a safe zone. Safe zone completely. No judgment. It's a beautiful thing. You are a beautiful human being, Catherine. You're special. Very, very special. And Phoenix I Am says, the heart, Catherine, the heart, much love. Catherine Willie Heart, Phoenix I Am Heart. Phoenix I Am says, AK much love. AK Darth, Rivian High. And lots of love and kisses, crying of joy from the love to you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Amazing. Love is all we got. Love is the elixir of life. Hey, Darth, how are you doing? Says Phoenix I Am. And Darth says, I'm doing good and groovy. And Phoenix I Am says, remember, the Father is not in heaven. Still want to go to heaven. No, Mother, Father is within us. We don't have to go to heaven. The divine masculine, the divine feminine united. Boom. Shakalaka. Yes, Darth Raven. Hearts, kisses, little smiley faces. Phoenix I Am. It is very hard for me to show love, but I am for real here. I know it's hard. I used to have a hard time really showing love, and that's because I never really knew love. Love had conditions. I think the first time I ever opened up my heart was with Lena. And prior to that, I mean, I loved people, but I never like in love type of thing, like take them or leave them. I think when I was growing up as a kid, I went through a lot of trauma that I learned to develop a switch, turn on, turn off, so that things wouldn't hurt me, so that I was able to like take care of me. So when my mom would say bad things, I would learn to shut it off so it wouldn't hurt me, wouldn't penetrate me. So I learned to be able to shut my feelings off when need be. And that didn't work in my relationship with Lynn, because no matter how much I wanted to turn it off, I couldn't. But it's a good thing because it allowed me to learn how to fully, not that I didn't love it, just didn't know how to show it, because I was told, I was like stoic. I was like, shut down. No, you're going to hurt me, so I'm not going to feel it, you know? But it's always good to feel. Feeling is the most amazing thing. And I'm so capable of feeling, and I'm so ready to show love, give love, you know, to all of you, the family, the tribe, our relations. Let's see. And she said, I have to go by. Great catching up. Thank you. She said, love you. Thank you for joining us. AK said, Catherine Willie crying. It's a good medicine. Yes, it is. And Rex says, Mark just made me throw away all my chicken and chocolate. I'm all on the health living. Awesome, Rex. If you need any support, brother, email me. We could talk. We could, you know, I'll be there for you. Be for anyone that needs me. Be a support system to help you out in whatever way I possibly can. And when I'm on the road, you just call me up. Like, okay, headed to GPS. There I go. And like I said, she said, don't go. I know, right? Why is she leaving? Catherine Willie, I can't stop crying. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, sweetheart family. Thank you, Catherine, for loving, for sharing, for being real, for being you. I love you. Phoenix, I am no the chocolate to hang on for the ride. That is my weakness. If you have, there's carob and there's cacao. Not too much of it, because cacao can really like cram up your adrenal glands. But if you're having chocolate with sugar, that's the problem. So it's not that chocolate's bad, it's all the stuff they put in the chocolate. So you got to find real healthy chocolate, which is usually bitter, but better than nothing, I guess. And Darth says, this is why there's so much imbalance. Totally. I mean, that article was like, whoa, I loved it. I totally loved it. And Rex says, Moody Blues song, Sling an Arrow. You're never going to lose because love conquers all. Yes, Rex Clark. And Catherine once said, she said, kisses. And Rex says, lol, Phoenix, no chocolate. Hey, Malia Allen joins us. I so appreciate your vulnerability and raw honesty. Thank you, Malia. I love you and Derek very much. And thank you for your presence here in the chat room, and for your love. And I love you guys so very much. And I can't wait to finally meet you guys. Hope in July I'll be free to go with Gypsy Blue little Prius car, and I'll be the nomad, Gypsy Blue, heading on the road, making beautiful connections, loving, healing, dancing, crying. Phoenix Anderson, thankfully we all have that shut off button. Yeah, it does help, you know, because it prevents a lot of pain. But feeling is so good. When you learn to feel, it's the most amazing and powerful thing. You know, you may get hurt, but how do you know you're alive if you don't feel pain? Pain is a great teacher. Pain is a great detector of things, of letting you know, wow, that hurt. But it's good. It's good, because being numb is not good. Numbing ourselves with food, alcohol, sex, and things that we use as coping skills is like a Band-Aid. It's like sweeping stuff under the rug. We need to feel. Feel is good. I love to feel. And Rex says, I'm on a Moody Blues trip and crying my eyes out. So good, brother. Love you. Yes. Crying is good. Blues are good. Music is an amazing, amazing tool and therapy. I have this one video. I call it The Dance of Life. I got to share with you guys. I got to look it up one day. And I'm in my most high spiritual awakening state that I've ever been. This was back in 2011. I was raw vegan. I had stopped taking testosterone for a while. So I was like, you know, pretty androgynous, still a little male side because, you know, testosterone's pretty harsh. But I was just dancing and just letting myself go and feeling the music. And it was just so amazing. I got to share that with you guys. Phoenix, send me the chocolate. I will help you out, Rex. Everybody said, Phoenix, your chocolate. She will put you out of your misery, and she'll take that donation. And Phoenix Diane said, my brother loved the Moody Blues. Moody Blues are awesome. And it's one of the melancholy, like when you really just want to let yourself go. And AKA smiles and says, Phoenix Diane with a big smile. And Scott Satella says, both are within us. Definitely, Scott. Had this awakening recently, sudden, powerful, and gentle. Felt like all 7 points clicked into place. Amazing. It is, and that's what we are all needing to do. Balance our male with the female side. And hey, Stephen Crum, thank you for joining us. We look forward to it, Malia. Thank you, Malia. You just don't know. The day I'm able to give you and Derek a big hug is going to be an awesome day for me. Very awesome day. And Rex Clark says, hi, Stephen, how are you? And True Luck has a beautiful blue heart. Thank you for joining us. And AK7 Crum, hi, bro. Much love to you. And Catherine says, Malia Allen, my sweet sister. I know. We all love Malia, right? And we all love Derek. And we all love each other. And Stephen Crum says, great. My loving RH negative, ultra sensitive wife has shows me a better way. And that's awesome. You know, when a man can allow a woman to guide in certain ways. And just, we had a guest, Stella was her name, great interview. That woman is just, oh my God. And there's just this magic that women have, and men love it, you know? And if men learn how to tap into their own feminine side, can you imagine a wonderful relationship two humans could have when they're both aligned in their male and their female essence? That beautiful dance, a beautiful loving. And it's not all about the sex, because the sex is the boom, bang, gone. It's that dance, that beautiful energy that two awakened souls who are well balanced unite. It's magical. And Darth says, my opinion, you can't give the Most High a gender. It's living, giving the Most High a name. Exactly. We don't know what the Most High is called or she's called, but what we do know is that they are a male and female, mother, father, because we see it all in creation. We see it within us when we allow ourselves to be exposed and look within. And Stephen Allen says, you are blessed to have a divine feminine by your side, Stephanie. Stephen, yes. And Rex Clark said, what's up, Darth? And Phoenix, I am, my native side calls it unknowable. Yes, totally. AK Darth Revan, you are right. And Stephen comes as Pulse Vision Truth, the gather gave me knowledge, intolerance, and patience and understanding, and how to, for the first time, to truly love. What a gift, Stephen Crumb's total gift. And Darth says, hey, Ray, good, what new with you? And Ann Foster joins us. Love you, Mark, and all here. We love you, and thank you for joining us. And there's Brother Derek. Hey, brother, love you and cannot wait to meet face to face. Brother, you just don't know how much that's going to mean to me. I can't wait. I can't wait to hug both you and Malia and just feel that your presence, your essence. It's going to be a great day. And Rex says, not much, buddy. Life is good. Life is very good. Life is just amazing. So let's see here. Well, we got the manifestation moment. And I was going to finish off an article that I was reading in this morning's show, but I think I'll leave that for the morning show because I like the energy that we created here with this last article. What did you guys think of that article? Did it really, spark something within? And Catherine said, thank you, Malia. You've helped me with this honesty. Derek's been a great blessing in this too. They both have been a great blessing to all of us. Very great blessing. And Rex says, trying to detach from things, Darth, is so important. It is. Minimalist, like I said, when I had on that Prius, minimalist wardrobe, because you can't fit a lot in a Prius, and I'm very organized, and I don't like clutter. So it's going to be like a little RV, little pod. It's got, you can keep temperature control. So if it's hot, you set up the temperature control. The car turns on and off to keep that temperature that you set it for. It's got, you could charge things, so if you have a computer and things like that. I mean, it's just, and it's great on gas. I've gone up to 60 miles a gallon, before. And eventually I want to get a Class B, a little bigger. I'm getting older, so I'm sure it's, on Class B will be a lot easier on my older body, but for now, it'll do. And I want to get out there. Phoenix I Am says, wait, let me see. Darth says, so true, goodwill written, says Darth. And Phoenix I Am says, Rex, I detach from everything by throwing it all out. I have nothing holding me down. That's the way to be, Phoenix. It's like, right? It's just such a relief. When you have clutter, when you have stuff, and you have so much stuff, it's hard to travel. The first message I got from Source, my first spiritual journey was travel light. Get rid of it all. I was like, what? That's my initial awakening. Before that, my mother had taught me to, get the degree, get the business, buy this, that. When Source, that travel light, get rid of it all. But you know what? I trusted, I did it, and it was just an amazing, amazing feeling. And the more you get rid of, the better you feel. It allows you to really connect with Mother and Father. When you have nothing holding you down, no hang-ups, no material things that you hold on to, you have unconditional love, and you have unconditional love for everyone else. It's an amazing thing. And let's see, Rex, I detach from, okay. Catherine said, Derek, Bobby likes to attack you on other channels. So sad, tells lies. Bobby Light. And Stay Neutral says, Stephen, is this Stephen or Steven? I'm not quite sure I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm messing it up, I'm so sorry. Catherine said, Derek, ignore him now because of this. Global Witnesses, I don't care if people attack me. It was promised. That's right. That's right, brother. And Rec Car says, awesome, Phoenix, detach always. That's the most amazing feeling. It's free. It's the most freeing feeling ever. Phoenix I Am says, it's easy when you lost everything, then you see you didn't need it. Fire and mold, yeah, I know, right? It's all that clutter and all that stuff gathered, dust, and yeah, not needed at all. Darth Raven says, thank you, brother Derek, for helping me find this channel. Yeah, thank you, Derek, for bringing people my way and for creating this beautiful family that we've created and you've created, and it's just this wonderful, wonderful journey that we're all on right now. And Catherine Willie says, I try to show love to him, Global Witness. He claims you won't talk to him, lies, maybe invite him on vid. I noticed that, Catherine, when people feel neglected, when people feel that one's not providing them with the attention that they want, they're dealing with cleanliness and a lot of hurt. And so they see a light, like insects go to the light, they want to gather around the light. But if the light would push the insect away, because the light, has a lot to take care of, a lot of people to talk to. You can't just, some people want all your time. So they can't have that, and they start turning on you. I've experienced that. I'm sure Derek has experienced that a lot. And, but we do have to all of us send them love from a distance. And, Derek's time is valuable, and he's a busy man, as is Malia. She's a busy woman. So people need to understand that sometimes you can't always give the one-on-one as much as we want to. Sometimes it can't be done. And Malia says, I love you, Catherine. And Global Witness says, they only attack me because I don't give them attention. Exactly. This should point to everything you need to know about these folks. Yep. They're just needing love and attention. It's like a kid that bullies people because they're lonely, they're miserable inside, so they're going to hurt other people. Hurt people. That's how it goes. And Malia quoted that a while back, so I'm kind of stealing that quote from you, Malia. Hope you don't mind. And Foster says, I'm slowly cleaning house. It's quite a task to let go of sentimental gifts, though. It can be, but remember, the best place for us to hold these sentimental things, right here and right here. No one can ever take those memories away. The other you can't take with you when you go, but the experiences and the memories and the connections you make will always be with you. And that's what I want to make. It's experience, memories, and connections to take with me. Material things mean absolutely nothing. They hold you down. But I know where you're at, Anne, and I honor you, and I'm not judging you. It's baby steps. We all have to take baby steps. As long as we're acknowledging and as long as we're on that path, And that's all that matters. And Phoenix I Am says, let me see, Stephen Crum says, feed me, say more, LOL, right? It's vampires. A lot of people just like want to suck that life out of you because they feel empty inside. So they see a light source, an energy source, and they just want to tap in and they want to just consume it all. And Phoenix I Am says, I feel the picture of everything is in your mind. Plus, if you have not used it in a year, you never will. Exactly. How many things do we have that we just put in a drawer in the closet, never wear it? It just sits there, gathering dust. Moths eat away at it. So if you don't use it within a few months, then you don't need it. Give it away. Give it away to somebody who will make better use. And Catherine Wood says, Global Witness, I completely understand. Bless your heart. We who talk Christ get attacked all the time. I'm okay with that. Yes, and we have to be okay with that because, like Derek says, we expect it. We totally expect it. Anne says, true, thank you, Mark. Very welcome, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your awakening. We all put a little piece of the puzzle and we all make such a difference. And together we are mighty and we are powerful. And Global Witness says, Mark, this is exactly where you need to be at this very moment. Things are being revealed to you now and your heart is right where it needs to be, even when it hurts. Stay inside and keep that crown. Thank you, brother. I appreciate your words and your love and your support. And I feel you, and I am so grateful for you. Thank you. And Catherine says, Mark, you're so right. And Phoenix I Am says, Catherine, just so you know, I don't speak of Christ except to call it a son, the eye, the light of God. And we all have different ways of expressing. We all have different ways of praying, manifesting, believing, and it's all beautiful because you know what? All path leads to that source that we are all part of, Mother, Father, the great I Am, the universe, whatever we want to call him or her. We are all part, and we are a family, and we're all connected. We're just fragmented, but we're slowly coming back together again and developing that beautiful consciousness that lights that kingdom that lies within each and every one of us. And Phoenix says, okay, I already read that. Scott Sattel says, truth stands on its own merit, and it makes those people see the glitches in their belief. They lash out, keep loving anyway. And that's all we can do, Scott, is love. Love is the elixir of life. It's such a true statement. That just came to me yesterday, and I have it as my little sign off on my emails. Love is the elixir of life. Love heals. We are part of love. And if we were to give a name to our creator, love would be the most way of characterizing our creator, createss, God, goddess, love. Because love just totally defines that essence of that presence of that all divine, beautiful source that we are all part of. And the more we go within, the more we feel his and her love, the more we connect with one another, the more that vibration of love rises and the more healing takes place in this broken planet, in these broken bodies. But soon the spirit, the soul will come out and there will be no more brokenness. There will only be love and healing and laughter. And I'm looking forward to that day. And Catherine Wood says, oh, Phoenix, I love talking about that love he teaches. It's all I do know. And don't let anyone take that away from you, Catherine, because that's what makes you happy. And that's what keeps you in that vibration of love. And love allows you to heal. And when you heal, you're healthy. And you become a light for others. And Darth Vader says, understanding the attack more every time I find inner peace with myself. Yes, because they like to do this. You know, when you're feeling that balance, they like to come and push. But you just take a deep breath. And you center yourself again. And you tell them they're not welcome in your space. And you send them love. And you continue on your path of love and healing. And you continue to spread your light. Darth. Stephen Crum says, I'm so happy I can't stop giggling. Love, all is in you, Mark. No worries. Thank you, Stephen Crumbs. I appreciate every single one of you. And I tap into all your energies and what you're seeing in me. It's all coming from you. You, all of you, light me up. You just don't understand how much. You just don't know. But I think you know, because I think you feel me as much as I feel you. Phoenix I Am says, I love God, the Christ, but it's not what I look for. And Scott says, Catherine Willie with hearts and hands together. And Stephen Crum says, FTW. And what does that mean? Full-time wonder. What does the FTW mean? I'm Cuban, so, you know, some words are like, okay, what's FTW mean? No, gonna keep me guessing, aren't you? Come on, tell me what it means. True luck, yes, brother. I heard it. I heard it. His brother says true luck. Okay, so let's do this manifestation. Meditation moment. Let me make sure that I have this thing on. So let me open up the little meditative royalty-free music. Make sure it's. Oh, let's start from the beginning. Where is it? Come here, you. Why isn't it playing? It's not wanting to work for me. Why is that? Okay, hang with me here, folks. Huh. No, it's okay. I'm trying to see if I can get this meditation manifestation thing going. Ah. Why don't you want to work? I know I've got this thing on that should be working, but it doesn't want to work. And I don't want to do it without music. No, it doesn't even want to play at all. It's probably because I have to like turn it on and off. You know, sometimes you have to reboot it, but I don't want to reboot it. Okay, so we're going to do this without music. What the heck? I know the music makes it. Let me try one more time. Let me see here. No, sometimes it does this, maybe. It's okay. I got it. It's okay. It's just not wanting to work. Okay, so, well, all right. We're gonna, do you have it in your phone? I can borrow. I appreciate that kindly. And let's see. Means F-A. Oh, I get it. Okay. Gotcha. That's what that means. I'm not going to repeat it. But thank you for clarifying that, Brother Derek. Appreciate that. And Catherine says, we have our shield of faith. Christ is in our hearts, truth on our minds, and always on our tongue. And Phoenix says, in your voice when you said what you said. And AK say, I'm nobody. You're somebody very special. Your spirit, AK, as all of our spirit, we are, part of the divine, part of the absolute. And, we definitely need to realize that. Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, it's okay. I don't know. It's just like Gremlins don't want me to play the music because it's not none of my iTunes are doing anything here. It's stuck. It's not doing anything. It's like roto, doesn't want to play. Let me try one more time. No. Maybe it's out of service. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to do this without music. So here we go. Well, hum. Okay. There are times when we must make decisions that will benefit the overall good for all. We must learn to step out of self and allow the flow of life. Everything with a beginning has an end. To expect otherwise is to have false expectations. You can only give your all. And when your all is not good enough, then we must realize that the time to move on is here. We can't be bound to anything in life. We must be prepared to let it all go. Let it all go. We must be strong and realize that life has many challenges, and that the only constant in life is, guess what? Change. Change is good, and we must welcome all changes and be grateful for it. We must learn to be in the now. We must also be willing to give all of you and never take yourself seriously, for we are only here for a short moment in time, a glitch. I hope that as the earth shifts and the many changes that will be brought in by the awakened, that we can all continue to grow as one consciousness and to heal. Healing and unconditional love is what we need to be able to cross the bridge that we will have to cross in the upcoming days and years. We must be in love and not in fear, to overcome all the obstacles and heartaches that will be coming our way. So I ask you to be light, to be love, and to be free. Namaste. So much love, folks. So much love, so much information constantly being downloaded. I write these manifestation moments, and it's just like my higher self coming from Mother, Father. Just put the words in my heart, and then my little fingers type it away. I love you so very much, all of you. You know, it's like your family. All of you are my family. I don't have a good relationship with my family, you know. It's always been under condition. Like, I know when my mom finds out, and the reason, like in the beginning of the show, she had called us because she found out that I broke up with Linda. And my mom's never really, my mom's never really liked anybody I've been with. I don't know what it is. She just wants me to be alone, I guess. But when she finds out I'm doing this journey on the road, she's going to freak out. You're going to do this on your own? Like I'm some helpless little thing that can't, do things. But that's the way my mom raised me. It was very controlling, and bless her heart, I love her to death. But, a lot of my imbalances came from the upbringing. And I am forever grateful because it made me who I am today. It made me who I am today, strong, non-fearful. And even though she didn't teach me love, but she put me in the quest of wanting that love, of thirsting for that love, a love that I wanted so badly from her, but she didn't know how. She had no clue, and I know not all of us know how, and that's okay. We got to meet people halfway. If they don't know how to love us, we got to love them unconditionally. Send them loads of love, loads of hugs, loads of positive energy. If you pray for them. If you manifest for them so that they can rise up and learn how to feel again, because feeling is such a wonderful thing. Being numb and dead to this, to love and to the beautiful gifts that we are provided, it's not a good thing. We want to be alive, but alive in spirit, not in these fleshy bodies, but in spirit and love. Love from the heart, love from the energy source that taps in directly to Mother and Father. It all glorifies God, all of it. It's Stephen Crumb. He's on point. Yeah, says Stephen Crumb, read World Rules, know yourself. Nobody fell from heaven, says Phoenix. Not really nobody, somebody. That one and the other, this too is in the words. Preach it, Phoenix. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And Scott Stella says, LMAO, Derek was wondering if someone was going to answer. Yeah, and I've read Derek saying, I was like, okay, dumb me, naive. I didn't know what that was, but, let's see here. Darth says, and sometime being nobody is the best thing. It's true. Sometimes just sitting in silence and just being nothing, being still, being in the moment. Those are the best times because that's when you really receive the download that you're not humanly aware of, but you're receiving it. Unbeknownst to you, there's changes taking place. Catherine says, go witness, fake the world. And Stephen Crum says, I know nothing, Mr. Nobody. And Phoenix, I am nobody fell from heaven. Okay, I already read that one. And Phoenix I am says, you come from the stars and one day you'll return. This is what we were told. Take care of each other. Yes, and we're stardust, definitely, and we need to take care of each other. Love you, love you, love you. Scott, love you so much. And Catherine Willis says, I'm trying, oops, this just moved. I'm trying to teach my brother to forget all that's in his past and start over. He's in prison now for a long time. Wow. Sometimes prison is a place to be to gather our thoughts. Derek, has talked about that, and that's where he really gathered his thoughts, and he was able to hear Father speak to him. And AK said, namaste, namaste. AK, Phoenix, I am nobody fell from earth. Natives call her the girl that fell from the sky. Sounds like a song title I could use, The Girl That Fell from the Sky. Stephen Crum says, Catherine Willie sent him the book by Ann Bassan called Esoteric Christianity. It confirmed I wasn't crazy and it might help him to angels and demons type stuff. Awesome. And Catherine Willis says, he's been there for over 20 years. He's got to love himself again by dropping the past. You have to. That's why it's so important, Catherine, to be in the now. When we connect to the past, we bring all those painful memories to our present. When we're constantly living in the future, we can't enjoy the now. And then the now is where everything happens. Right here, right now. And Stephanie Allen says, night all, much love. Much love to you, Stephanie. Thank you so much for your presence, for your gifting, for your support, for everything you do. I love you very much. And we are one. Yes, we are. Stephen, I swear, I want to know if it's Stephen or Stephen. Stephen, PH, probably Stephen, right? Tell me if I'm right. Stephen? Is it Stephen? Could also be Stephen, but I don't want to keep messing it up. Catherine Willis says, good night, Stephanie Allen Hunting. And Phoenix Sam says, my brother woke up and turned 60 after he got out of prison. Wow. Better late than never, though. We all have to wake up. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I am so blessed to have you as a family, as a tribe. Thank you for joining me every day. I do 2 shows, one at 9:30 in the morning and this one at 5:30. If there's ever a change, like tomorrow, because I have therapy for my shoulder, so I don't want to feel rushed. So tomorrow might be 9:45, 10 o'clock. I'll schedule it probably for 10. And if I start early, I start early. But I want to thank you so much for your presence, for your love, for just being you, being the wonderful you. You are part of the solution. While other people are part of the problem, they're living in this matrix. They're feeding off these, or the archons are feeding off of them, and they're feeding off each other with all this materialism and all this hatred. You guys are spreading love, light, and being part of the solution. And I thank you for that. You should pat yourself every day because you are part of the solution. You are showing the love that Mother, Father has for us all by showing your fruits. And we need to do that so we could bring other people in. So they want that. They want what we have. So let's see. Catherine Willie, he put on charge to recharge his battery. He's doing time. There you go. And Darth Raven says, my mental damage began at birth, trying to forgive that. I guess that's why I don't want to start family. It's hard to start a family this day and age. I really, I don't know how people even want to with the times that we're living in. And Phoenix I Am says it was a wonder he did not die first. Prison was good for him. It is. Sometimes solitude is good. Sometimes really allowing to reflect and being present, because you have to be mindful. You have to, be mindful of your surroundings. You have to look where you walk. You have to, it's like that present moment. That's what teaches us. And Stephen Crum says, just don't call me Steve. He's dead and gone. Okay, so Stephen. And Catherine Willis says, prison is killing my brother because of the health system in there. I'm sure it's crazy. It's not like they don't have the money. because the prison system is it's a business. They make money. And so they should be able to have a good medical system in there, but they don't want to use up the money for that. They want to pocket everything. And Phoenix Sam says, my brother hurt in there too, but he did wrong. So he did it and got out. Yeah. I feel really bad for people that are caged like animals because they broke the law. I mean, yes, there should be ramifications, but like in the old days when people would do something, the tribe would just shun the individuals, make them feel shame, make them realize what they did wrong. We're all humans. We make mistakes. I want to believe in my heart of hearts that people don't do things on purpose to hurt each other or do bad things. I think, a lot of things stems from being hurt themselves from childhood, from a lot of things. So this whole concept of sticking somebody in a cage, why don't they try to rehab people? Why don't they try to help people instead of just putting them there, to rot, to be, possibly murdered or hurt by some other people. I mean, this whole system is so backwards. We need to love on people. We need to help people heal themselves, connect to their divinity. All right, guys, I've rambled and I've said a lot, and I'll be here tomorrow morning around 9:45, 10 o'clock. Thank you once again for your presence. I appreciate you so much. Guys, I love you. But remember to always love yourselves too. Good night, everyone. And just going to end with a new little ending that I have here. Let me see here. Share screen. And love you guys so very much. Make sure this is going to work now for the ending. Hopefully it does. Yes. All right. That's my mom and dad. We gotta love each other. Love you, Phoenix. Love you all.